Welcome to Fandemically REVIEW'd, part of the Fandemic. This is a podcast about the things you love and the voices that do and don't. Each episode, I'm going to review a movie, TV show, or something. I'll go over where we might recognize the actors, directors, writers, then read some of the best and worst reviews that I can find, rate the reviews, and give you my thoughts as well. Also, you can make up your own damn mind under 30 minutes. I'm the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin. This is Fandemically Reviewed. In this episode, we are talking about the movie If. The second I saw this trailer, I knew I was going to see it. I knew I was going to see it with my kids and my wife. And I did, and it was awesome. Well, not all my kids, but that's okay because I got older kids. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds. And the cast was fantastic as well. And there was a couple of worries that I had, and I'll probably address them at the end. And none of them were true. I did predict the whole twist very, very early on in the movie. I'm like, hey, honey, this is what it is. But that's okay. Sometimes you don't need to be surprised for it to just be a really well, heartfelt movie. They say that this movie is bombed. I hope more people go see it because it's a fantastic movie. I already have high hopes of this, so we're going to go over some bad and good reviews. Maybe they'll change my mind. I don't know. I'm pretty stubborn. So let's go over some of the dirty deets of the movie. IMDb rated this at a 6.8 out of 10. And Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 49% on the tomato meter, but an 87% on the audience score. That's probably more in line with where I'm going to be in the audience score. I can never go by the tomato meter. I don't know. But anyway, here is the synopsis of the movie. IMDb says, a young girl who goes through a difficult experience begins to see everyone's imaginary friends who have been left behind as their real-life friends have grown up. I mean, that's just heartwarming, man. Like, you can't even think about that and have a little bit of grit. Like, yeah, I get that a little bit. Anyway, this was directed by John Krasinski. You know him from a million different projects right now. Most famously, Quiet Place 1 and 2, he directed those. He also wrote Quiet Place 1 and 2 and Promised Land. The main stars of the movie. Kaylee Fleming, she stars as Bee, and she's the young girl, and she's awesome. You may recognize her from Star Wars Episode 7, where she played young Rey. She's also was in Peppermint. She's also Judith in The Walking Dead. She was in Preacher, and she was also in Loki. So she's got quite the resume. I mean, get her in DC and maybe a Lord of the Rings, and she's got it all already. Ryan Reynolds, he plays Cal, and everybody knows him. Deadpool, I probably don't need to say anymore, but the Hitman's Bodyguard, Waiting, Buried, Free Guy, the Adam Project, Red Notice. One of my favorite Ryan Reynolds movies is one that's probably half of you have never heard of, called The Chaos Theory. It's great, and you should watch it. John Krasinski plays the dad, and he is in Jack Ryan, great show on Amazon. DC League of Super Pets. He's Superman, actually. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Of course, he's Mr. Fantastic. A Quiet Place, 13 Hours, Monsters University, The Office. Promised Land, Shrek the Third, Leatherheads, Monsters of the Aliens. Dude just has such a good freaking resume. Man, I don't think there's anything that I've seen him in that I have not liked. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, she plays Blossom. You may recognize her from Solo, A Star Wars Story, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Fleabag, His Dark Materials, Goodbye Christopher Robin, or some that she's got credited. Fiona Shaw, she's been around for a long time. Grandmother, you'd recognize her from Harry Potter. She's the aunt. Andor, Killing Eve, True Detective Enola Holmes, just to name a few. Steve Carell, again, you know him. He plays Blue. The Office, 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Big Short, Despicable Me, so much. Louis Gossett Jr., R.I.P. He plays Louis, but spelled different. An Officer and a Gentleman, Jaws 3D, Roots, The Color Purple, Iron Eagle, The Reason, man, dude, just such a tremendous actor. Catherine Daddario, she plays Bee's mom. The Tributaries, The Tomorrow Job, Oak, Dance Dads, some of what she's got credited. Really quick, let's go over the review system. 1 out of 5 is a You Shall Not Pass. Yeah, don't really get it, not my cup of tea. 2 out of 5, that's going to be Are You Not Entertained? Maybe I'm missing something. I'll take it or leave it. 3 out of 5 is an I'll be back. No matter what, like it or not, I'm going to watch it again. May the force be with you. 4 out of 5. And number 5 out of 5, No, I Am Your Father. And yes, I realize I put the last 2 in Star Wars. That's how big of a fan I am. And here's my little disclaimer. I base the reviews I choose solely on title alone and have not read through them. Please forgive me if I mispronunciate words. I normally no talk good. I will do my best to read them as I see it. Punctuation, good, bad, and all. So here we go with a bad review. This is a 1 out of 10, and this is called Deceiving. Oh my gosh, Deceiving is I think what they're trying to get at. This is the most deceptive movie I've ever seen. And this is all in caps too, by the way, so let's try this a different way. This is the most deceptive movie I've ever seen. I thought it's going to be a funny movie thanks to Ryan Reynolds, but I was wrong. It's drawn out, boring, and sad at times, and the plot is awfully long. I mean, why does a 12-year-old girl have an imagination of a 9-year-old? All in all, it should be great, but it's not. I thought that this experience would be like Free Guy, another Ryan Reynolds movie, but Reynolds is barely in this movie. And the beginning scene was unbearable to watch. And why in the world would an imaginary friend return to their owners? Wouldn't they freak out and, I don't know, call the FBI where a lot of things wrong with this movie? I'm hoping Deadpool 3 would make fun of it. Okay. That was that. Ben, take a chill pill, dude. That was unwarranted. Not every Ryan Reynolds movie is going to be about Ryan Reynolds. Yes, he's the main star power. And he did not overshadow Kaylee Fleming, which is a good thing because the movie is about grief. And it's about trying to deal with things that this little 12-year-old girl shouldn't have to. She's got a sick dad. Her mom is dead. Man, like, dude, this guy kind of pisses me off a little bit. Okay, another bad review. Oh, we're going to give this guy, just because I think he's an asshole, You Shall Not Pass. And he was all caps, which is weird. 4 out of 10. Are you ready? Strange pacing and tone shifts. Warning, spoilers. I went into If with high expectations. I'm a huge fan of most of the cast, and I think John Krasinski is a competent director. About 30 minutes into watching this, I realized it wasn't going to have the broad, universal appeal of many films in the genre. It's extremely sad in parts, and then shifts to totally silliness and back to sad again. Films can be a lot of things at different times, but it was a sort of whiplash here, going from silly to sad and back again. I was really looking forward to Steve Carell's reunion with Krasinski, and that was all sort of overblown letdown here. Steve's blue character is basically a beanbag chair with eyes and emotions. He had almost zero impact on the film. In fact, he really didn't even have that many lines at all. The writing in the film also isn't the best. There are times where iffy, I think is the plot just sort of wanders. The scene about half into the movie that I think showcases what I'm talking about. The main protagonist girl wanders into a retirement community for imaginary friends and stuff just happens. It has no bearing on the rest of the plot whatsoever. Like the film got lost on its way to a purpose for existing. Overall, it was fine, but it has absolutely zero replay value. Again, that's a 4 out of 10. And with that, let's go right into some good reviews. This one here is an 8 out of 10. And this one is called, well, we had to talk about that last one first. Better than the first one, man. But sure, you're entitled to your opinion. We'll give you a 3 out of 5 and I'll be back. All right. 8 out of 10. This one is called The Ending Saves Us from Being an Interesting Thought Experiment. The majority of the film, I was questioning this film, I won't lie. The messaging seemed all over the place. The target demographic similarly seemed to vary scene to scene. There were a bunch of grin inducing moments and some good laughs, but I was frustrated by the film's lack of commitment to answer an internal logic, why certain things are important, etc. I was very impressed with some of the acting. John Krasinski and Fiona Shaw are delightful, in particular in stacked cast is a wonder of I know that voice, all of which are charming. But it seemed the key functions of pairing imaginary friends with kids to be very child-friendly line. The way it takes it in reality is far more adult while still being a little confusing. I got about 70 minutes into the film and started wondering why, if anything other than a one-sentence summary John Krasinski and Ryan Reynolds had said, this was a live-action Pixar film. The ending and the subsequent hours of reinterpretation and pondering leave me in awe of its execution. I still think there are problems and scenes and that feel very haphazard in some ways, and I still feel some bewilderment over a film that takes 90% of its runtime to come into its own. It's a fantastic twist, and similar to Gone Girl, an odd but apt and well-considered comparison, given that to mention any others would constitute a spoiler, is one of the best examples of a twist impacting your entire viewing experience I've ever seen. Everything crystallizes, and the amount you get from it as a young adult increases exponentially. I can only wait and look forward to how its meaning and poignancy will change throughout the rest of my life, as the best Pixar films do. Oh, well said, man. Yeah, this is probably where I'm at. I'm probably about an 8 out of 10 of the movie. I agree with a lot of it. I really enjoyed the movie. So, yeah, let's do a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This is called Pure Magic. I'm offering a huge standing ovation to John Krasinski and the entire cast of If. This movie is magical, heartfelt, beautiful, and the kind of film that will stick with you forever. The casting is perfect. I'm a 48-year-old mother of two, and all three of us left the theater with a sense of awe and wonder. I am also a mental health therapist, and I can clearly see how this movie can serve as a highly effective tool for use in groups. Wow. As well as individual therapy. This is the type of material that elicits emotional responses that can set the stage for highly effective individual and group process. It is one that I will be incorporating in my own professional practice, and I encourage other therapists to do the same. For the teachers, this film would be a wonderful addition to social emotional learning programs. The message of this magic of childhood, resiliency, and community is undeniably effective. I cannot wait for this movie to be released for purchase because I will be buying it on day one and rewatching this over and over again. I will confidently go so far as to say that this movie is the Mary Poppins of the day. That is high praise, and I kind of agree with that, actually. The Mary Poppins of the day. You are correct. Pure magic is great. You get a May the Force be with you. Well, my thoughts on the movie is it was great. I'm one of those people that I like to go to a movie. I like my movie fog, and the movie, if it can hold me into the movie, I'm going to keep that as long as I can. If something takes me out of it, I'm out. Then you have to work harder to put me back in. That was my problem with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This one never did that. This one I just thoroughly enjoyed. I'm not really a negative person, so I always try to look at the good parts of things when I possibly can. And the thing I liked a lot about it is when you have a Ryan Reynolds movie, just because of the type of person his character is, or not just character, but his personality is, so easy to just take over movies. And in this, he doesn't. In this, the main star is Kaylee Fleming, and she's the main star. And she is the star. She compliments everybody. And what that last person said about the Mary Poppins and how this is a good look at like mental health and things like that, man, that's awesome. So with that, let's do best and then worst actor. Best actor, Kaylee Fleming. Worst actor, there wasn't one, in my opinion. The story, was a little generic, but the story was great. It kept me in there. Cinematography was awesome. Show stealer, man. I'm gonna give this to one of the ifs. I'm gonna give this to the Stabler if the little detective guy, because he was just kind of funny. So and he's what I can't think Maloney, Christopher Maloney. So yeah, that's there it is. And if you want to F me, that means find me, friend me, follow me, Facebook at the Fandemic, TikTok at the Fandemic1, Instagram at the Fandemic1. Also, I'll be releasing a couple different reviews on TikTok very shortly. If you feel there's more of a conversation, feel free to reach out and let's talk. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next guest on the Fandemic. If you want to support the show, there are several ways to do so. Buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thefandemic. A Patreon at patreon.com/PVOTNFandemic. Become an episode assistant, an episode producer, a pre-veg producer like Stacy, or become part of the con, the Council of Nerds, start at $5 a month. Just go to PayPal or Venmo. Bradley Butane. I'm not going to say no. Mostly important, just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review and share the podcast. If you like this, check out All Things Fandemic and hear all the fun conversations with myself, Brian, and whoever else wants to talk. You can also order my kids' books, Leveling Up My Awesome and the Stuffed Animal Night Force versus the Dream Invaders, on Amazon, or contact me for autographed copies. I got a couple more books in the pipeline that I'm hoping to get out soon. All right. If the movie just got Fandemically